What is up, people of YouTube? I am the wife and I'm here with your host Vernon. This is Willow Beach. Let's fish that.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the last video here on my channel is the one where we went up into Spring Mountains to catch some new trout there. That video was actually filmed during the last days of 2020, so that's basically for last year, meaning that this is actually my first fishing trip for the year of 2021. So we decided to come out here to Willow Beach to see if we can find any trout out here. This is a particularly difficult place to fish at the moment, with the water levels being this low and the fish are quite hard to find. Way back up there we have the little hatchery where they stock the fish. They stock them on Fridays. A good place to try and find them when they're stocked, but they're not as easy to catch. Once they're stocked, it takes a few days for them to start biting again, but you can always try up there. We haven't had any luck around the little dock area or the fishing pier up there. Just because it's called a fishing pier does not necessarily mean the fish will be around there. But listening to some other fishermen, they've explained that the fish do move around quite a lot, searching for some places to hide. Some of these fishermen have explained that these fish move downwards, trying to find some rocks and places to hide. You need to understand when I'm saying that there are some big stripers in these waters. I'm talking about stripers that prey on the little trout. People are using 12-inch swim baits to try and catch these stripers. That's why these trout are that big. They are trying to stock big trout so that they might survive and also count as a food source for these stripers. Being bank anglers, however, it's not that easy to find these fish. I mean, this is a big river. They can be anywhere. They can be in some of the coves where we cannot reach by walking, but we're going to try and find some of these fish out there today. It is, of course, a good idea to always ask some of the other fishermen around what they are using to catch these fish. Some of the people have told me that recently they are using garlic scented power baits. So, of course, we're going to have some rods out there with garlic flavored power baits, but I'm also going to be using the spinning gear where we're going to try some inline spinners and maybe switching to the fly rod, trying some flies to see if we can locate any of these trout. Alright, so we have some rods out there with power baits soaking in the water. They've been out there now for about half an hour and we haven't even had a single nibble on them. So I'm going to switch over to something different. Use my spinning rod, cast around to see if we can find some fish. Another thing that I have is my waders. General idea of this, we have some shallow flats and then sudden deep drop-offs. So I'm going to be walking out on these flats to try and see if I can find some fish somewhere. So let's get to it. Alright guys, you know on this channel I don't sugarcoat things, I tell it to you like it is. We had some coots stealing our power baits. Not any fish, only getting little bites from the coots trying to steal the power baits. We used cast masters, we used inline spinners, even using some spoons and stuff. I actually hiked along the shoreline quite a distance, trying all these different things. Didn't see any fish, didn't have any follows. Quite concerning that I didn't see any fish, but again, this is a big river, the fish can be anywhere, they're not necessarily going to be hanging around where we are trying to fish. And that's the thing with fishing here at Willow Beach. You can have a good or lucky day where you find the fish and you can throw your lures or flies at them and catch some fish, or you can have a day where there are no fish around and you're going to struggle to find any fish. Now on my hike back I managed to find a pool that had a fish in there, and this happened. Alright guys, so this fish was caught with a net. It's not caught with rod and reel, so it does not count towards my life list. But I do want to show you guys this fish, because I do believe this is one of the native fish for the Colorado River, native to this area. I think this is a humpback suckerfish. I just want to have him in the water for a while before I take him out to show you guys. Pretty nice size fish. Let's quickly get him out and have a look at him. We can see the nice hump there on his back. That's why I think it's a humpback razorfish, or humpback suckerfish. Quite lively. Just going to get him back in the water again. Not quite sure whether these fish are endangered or not, but I know they are only found in the Colorado River. That is why we're going to take nice care of this one to ensure that it swims away. It was caught in a small pool, so I'm going to release it back into the river rather than it being stuck in a small pool somewhere. Just quickly want to have one last look at the little fish. So again, it's not a new species for my life list because it wasn't caught with hook and line, but nice little sucker fish. We're quickly going to get him back into the water. So I'm releasing him on this side so he can swim back into the river. Nice strong kick from him and off he goes. So that fish was caught with net, but pretty cool to see one at least. Okay, so I don't really know whether that's a humpback suckerfish or a razor suckerfish. Unfortunately, I don't have any internet out here, so can't Google to quickly see which one it is. But it is one of these razorfish from the Colorado River. So unfortunately I didn't catch it. I caught it with the net, so it doesn't count for my life list. But still, it is quite an interesting fish to see. I'm glad I got to see one at least. So we released that one back into these waters. But sadly, no fish. Haven't gotten my first fish for the year yet. This is something that can quite knock the wind out of you, coming out here, spending all this time out here and not catching any fish. So we're gonna pack up our stuff, get some lunch, and then on our way back to home, we're quickly gonna stop at Boulder City to see if we can find some stock trout from there to at least get on the board and get a fish for today. Alright guys, we have our first fish for the year. Sadly, it is probably 1/8 the size of the fish I wanted to catch today, but nonetheless, we have a little fish for today landed. Quickly just want to wet my hands. And there we go, guys, first fish for the year. Tiny little stocked rainbow trout, but at least we're on the board. We have a fish. Let's get him unhooked. Lovely, small, very stressed. We have all the cormorants chasing the fish, but let's release this little guy. And there he goes. Alright guys, so that little trout truly is my first fish for the year of 2021. The struggle is real. It was real hard to find that one little fish. We did not see any trout swimming around at Willow Beach. Talking to some of the fishermen around there, they said that for the last few days no one has caught anything around there. And that's just how fishing works sometimes. Having to go to Boulder Beach as a backup plan to try and find some trout. With all the cormorants chasing the fish up there, these fish were quite stressed. Took something like half an hour to only get this one. The other fish we saw in this video, the little razorback sucker fish, I quickly wanted to focus on that. You guys need to understand, I'm really excited about that. Just being able to hold that fish, that's very exciting to me. This is not something that I would normally go out to target or anything like that. So just being able to see this fish was quite amazing. The sucker fish are, of course, only in the Colorado River and in some of the 4 big lakes on the Colorado River. They are critically endangered and federally protected. So it's a very important species, one that they're trying to re-establish in this river. These are fish that tend to spend their days below 80 feet of water, where the sun does not penetrate. They love spending their time in the dark. Coming to shallower water once a year during late winter, early spring. They come to the shallower water to breed. When I say shallower water, I'm talking about something like 12 feet. So finding this one fish in 2 feet worth of water was quite strange. It seemed trapped in this pool. That is why I wanted to get it out with the net, and we released it back into the river. But that's kind of the point of this video, guys. I wanted to show you stuff as is. I could have gone down to Willow Beach for many days until I actually caught a fish and made a video out of that. But I wanted to show you what the reality of it is. You're not always going to find fish out there. It helps you sometimes have a little backup plan, hitting some different ponds on your way back or something like that, just to get your confidence back up. But unfortunately, that's how fishing works. You're not always going to catch fish. Right, but I want to thank you for watching this video. Feel free to comment anything down below, ask any questions down there as well. Please do hit the subscribe button, join my community if you haven't done so already. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.